People are strange when you are stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Woman seems wicked when you are unwanted. Streets are even when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. All right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Pat. You're the first, man. I'm so echoing the bunny, man. Honestly, man. I have that on vinyl, man. Like, I love echoing the
The
bunny,
doors,
man.
right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Dude,
Favorite band.
it's wicked, man. It's wicked. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Dude, welcome so much to be on the show here, The Construction Life. I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
that we connected. Everybody that's
Me
not
too.
aware of what's going on, I haven't even hinted to anybody what's going on, right? And I was just like, this is insane. Let's just give this a try. And I reached out to Pathan, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, let's have a podcast with somebody in China, in Hong Kong, and we're going to talk about construction
Yeah, man.
there. We're going to talk about construction here. We're going to talk about everything that we know between ourselves and then what you're doing. So I'm super excited about all this stuff. It's amazing that we made this connection, man. So welcome.
Awesome, awesome. Magical. Very magical for me.
I know you're 12 hours ahead, so we're 8 o'clock in the morning our time on a Saturday morning. You're 8 o'clock at night your time. But we're both woken up. We're here ready to rock and roll and start talking a bunch of stuff, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
I
Yeah,
love
man.
it.
Let's do this.
I love it. All right. So first of all, everyone reach out and on IG it's Pata_Chan, right?
Yeah, just this account.
Yeah, so PATA_CHAN, and then you're the owner, you're the
Right.
director, and then again, how do you pronounce the
Yes.
company again?
Kwaihinian.
Kwaihinian. It's spelled, so the website is www.KWAIHINIAN.com, correct?
Yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
your email is patachan@that_address.com. And first of all, I got to do a little shout out to all the team, the great team at Tools in the Trade for the t-shirt that I'm wearing. And they're doing amazing
Yes.
things. And I'm sure that they'll be back on the show and we'll have more conversations. And they're doing all kinds of boot camps and spreading the word and getting more people into the construction industry, which is amazing. And so thank you for the tee and the hoodie as well. But now, Pata, like, where do you want to begin, man? How do you want to start?
Anything. Man, you're the host.
when did we I wanted to just figure out, did we first connect when you were in Vancouver? Is that how we first connected?
Nah, I was like shouting a question to you, a
Yeah,
DM, about relocating to Vancouver or anywhere in Canada because
That's
I
what
had
it
that
was.
thought last year.
Yeah. That's what it
Yeah.
was, man. So no, that's how, and that's been years ago, right? And we always talk, and then you've been listening to the
Yeah.
show, you've been paying attention to what's going on, and
Yeah.
how did you begin in the industry? Where was the starting point for you?
It's a long story, but I can make it short
Oh,
because
make it
my
as long
dad,
as you like, man.
yeah, my dad is a contractor. So that's a short story.
What was he
But
doing? What
long
was his official title?
To me, honestly, as a kid, I see my father. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Sorry, I swear.
No, you can swear.
Uh,
Don't worry.
Okay, I just see he's like a deco man. He's a handyman. He do small jobs, and then when I'm teenager, I start see he's starting to renovating the whole house. And because when I was young teenager, I was a rebellious one. So I remember the first time I officially worked for my dad as a summer job. I was 17. This is like a punishment, as a punishment for me, because my mom had forced me to do it because she find out I have a girlfriend when I was 17, which in the Chinese family is not allowed.
That's a big deal.
So,
It's a big deal. Yeah, I know.
that kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to do that construction job with my dad. So I do all the demo works. I pull the wallpaper. I just general labors. I didn't enjoy it every day. I just want to leave. I'm a teenager, 17. I don't know. I don't have any specific. It's just the beginning. It's a punishment. I never liked it, right? So after all these years, honestly, I'm more like artistic person. I play guitar. I was in a band. So I was 18, 19, 20. I was all doing my music stuff. And then round circle, I got some full-time jobs after I graduate from the art school. I have an art school background.
Nice.
And I find some decorator jobs. And then that decorator job really changed my mind, because the decorator before that, I don't know what decorator means. And that job just bring me to construction, because the company I work for, they design artworks for hotels and some fit out works, custom works for the hotels. And then I found, oh, it's like something my dad can do too, you know, something construction related, because I never want to go like my dad's path when I was younger. And then
what was the reason, Pata? What was the reason why you didn't want to go down what your dad was doing? Social?
Because I consider myself, I want to go to more music path when I was younger. I want to play a band. I want to, you know, just do art, or I even choose fine art as my subject. I do sculpture when I was in the art school. I didn't find anything to do with construction because I never put in my list. That's why. Okay. But it's just strange. The fact that all the full-time jobs I found later, it's just all construction related. And I find myself pretty suitable for that kind of job, because I have a dad which is a contractor. So I can easily fit in that area. And then after all these jobs, I have worked 3 years for full times when I was 23 to 26. And then 2016, I decided to open a company with my girlfriend. My girlfriend also helped me a lot. She is an interior designer. So, and then I start getting jobs. Friends find me to renovate their house. And some friends are like entrepreneurs. I thought I got chances to do some renovation for cafe, starting some commercial jobs, some retail jobs. Just jobs started pops up. So I just go for it.
Just referral. Everything was referral, word of mouth. Everything was just starting off that way.
Yes, till now, all the client I have is all word of mouth referral.
And so that got you into, okay, so how young are you now?
I'm 33 now.
Okay, so you've been doing it for just a little less than 10 years, basically, from, I guess, not wanting to work with your dad to actually getting into art, learning about art and experiencing that, and then kind of getting back into the industry. But you went in, I mean, technically, Pat, you're still doing what your dad was doing or what he was teaching you in the beginning, but you're doing it differently. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this moment now, I've been working with my dad like every day now. It's just different side. I have my own side. He got his own side. We're doing the same kind of thing, but not together all the time. It's just funny. I cooperate with my dad almost every day now.
Is he still he's still working away? He's still doing stuff in the industry?
Yeah, he do. It's amazing. He's 72 now. He's still working his ass off.
Because he loves it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I have to say, he doesn't find other things to do.
Yeah. I want to get into a bunch of the stuff that you've created, because it's actually beautiful stuff. And actually, just before the mic we started rolling, I was just talking with Angelina here, and we were just saying it's amazing how some of that doesn't filter here. I'd love to see more of that here. And I wanted to get your thought. Why do you think it's not here? Why is it that maybe the North American culture doesn't want to embrace these creative ideas?
I don't really get it.
No, like I find that design wise, when it comes to specifically commercial spaces, we're a lot safer. We don't want to take risks. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, why is that? Why is it that we have that kind of mentality? And then versus when you go to you guys like in Asia, or you go into Europe, it's different. Everybody's always willing to try to push the artistic, the creative angle a little bit further. Like why? Why do you think that?
It's strange. What kind of can you point out which specific project you're talking about? You say so different there's from North America.
I don't know. I'd have to pull it up. But the thing is, there's some of your projects that it's inviting. I've always been I gravitate towards places when I walk in and I want to see certain technique. I start paying attention to little details, and I can see that in your work. I can see that you've spent an effort to actually work tirelessly on little tiny details, versus here they'll design something that's more of a grander scope, and it's just like the overall, you know, like Pat, it's kind of like when you first walk into a place here, you have a sensory
Mm-hmm.
overload. But when you walk into a place where you guys are and what you're building, there's
Mm-hmm.
details that you have to kind of sift through to find that and then appreciate the quality. That's where I'm seeing the
Mm.
difference. Do you see the same thing?
I see kind of differently,
Okay.
but I can answer this question because I think the sizes of the projects here in Hong Kong, just Hong Kong, is rather small because Hong Kong is very famous for tiny spaces
Of
with
course.
super expensive places. Everything is small and tiny and compact. So designers in Hong Kong tends to do more detailed things, so you can look around and see, oh, that's the detail there. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But
Yes.
what I see on, I've never been to Canada, but I've been to like North America. I've been to New York. I've been to Europe too. I see differently because all the projects you guys have, the size is gigantic for me. It's so bigger.
Yes. Yeah.
It's already amazed me. So I'm amazed by the size, and you are amazed by my detail. Okay, probably I don't know.
That's the truth. That's the exact. What's the average size, so to speak, for a business there, like a cafe or a restaurant? What kind of a size are you dealing with?
Cafe can be very diverse. Can be 200 square feet, very small,
Okay.
to 2,000 square feet. I have been
200 square
count. Yeah,
feet, huh?
yeah.
I love it. 200 square feet. That's all you need, man.
Residential more crazy. Residential, I have the smallest one for my friend. It's 150 square feet with a kitchen and
150.
toilet.
And what was in that 150 square feet?
A so-called living room, which is a sofa bed, and a
Yes.
TV stand,
Yes.
and then a very pathetic desk, a little tiny desk so you can do something on it, and then
Kitchen? There's got to be a kitchen in there, no?
yeah, a kitchen like 8 by 6. Yeah, 8 by 6 about, and a very compact toilet with a standing shower. Yeah, because that's like the typical type of public estate. We got many different houses here though, because a variety of residential that usually is called public estate.
Yes.
Public estate is the housing that built by the government, and that contain a lot of population here in Hong Kong. And that's also the main kind of project that my dad do. That's why I don't like it, because it's all typical, rather boring and small.
Yep.
And the money is not good too. It's tight.
Trust me, Pat, I'm in the same boat. I get really, really tired of what's been done over and over. We call it here cookie cutter. Like it's pretty straightforward. You just do it. Everyone shows up. They know what to do. It's nice, steady work. It's nice, steady money, but it doesn't allow you to be creative. It chokes. It chokes the creativity. And I know that
it doesn't require creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay. So I wanted to. Are you still pulling off all kinds of artistic side things on the side? Because I say that once you get into the arts, you stay in the arts, man. You never leave it. So you just translate it into different platforms.
I still play guitar.
Nice.
Every second I got free time, I play guitar. I read books. I watch movies, tons of movies. I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
I listen to music. Yeah. That's the artistic side of me. Artists just work.
And then, you know what? Before we even dive into further stuff, I want to ask you about, because someone brought it up recently, scaffolding in China, bamboo. Now, it's legitimate, right? Like, and it's strong and it's proper, right? Like, is that how it is? Or you tell us a little bit more about it.
Actually, you don't find bamboo scaffolding in China.
Okay.
You only find in Hong Kong.
Just in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think that's the last place you can see. Someone said they found it in South Asia, like Thailand or Philippines, somewhere. I never saw it. I've never been there.
Okay.
But around all China, because I've been many places in China too, you don't see the bamboo no more. They use all metal scaffolding now. So just Hong Kong is bamboo.
What makes the bamboo scaffolding so strong and so good?
I don't really think it's so good or strong. It's kind of still. Every time I step out of a bamboo scaffolding, I still shake because I'm afraid of height. You know,
No, I
still
know.
try.
The older
It
we
still
get,
scares me.
yeah, we get a little wobbly, man. So I've never been on one. I've only seen it. I've never been on one, but I was just curious about it. Okay, so that
If
was,
you have a chance, you have to stop one.
you have to,
You feel it.
yeah,
It's always shaking.
it's always moving. So it's like being on a boat.
It's not like, but it's okay. But because they got certificate for the bamboo scaffolding,
Yeah.
say they still have a liability for it. But that's the case. That's a traditional way of any window removal or plumbing or drainage work. You need to have bamboo scaffolding. They do in this way. So you're a temporary for like 1 week or 2 week.
And that's it, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so then I want to get to the idea of how is construction perceived there? How is it looked upon there? If you're in construction, what kind of a person are you if you're in construction in Hong Kong?
After I listened to all this construction life from your side,
Yeah.
I found it the people who get involved in the construction is pretty similar.
Okay.
It's like, you know, you don't go to school, you go construction, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because there's many different labors from China, labors from Pakistan, also labor locally, and it's all like, I hate to say this word, but it's like lower end education people. They choose the construction.
It's still looked upon the same way here. That's kind of attached to it. So it's just interesting to hear from you over there that it's still looked upon very similarly, right? So I understand. I totally understand. But I mean, your dad's in it, and so the family must be proud, somewhat like attached to it. They must have some sort of pride for it because of what he's built and what you're building too, right? No, is that not the case? Because I mean, you're taking construction to a different level, so there still has to be passion and pride there.
Yeah, true. But in fact, my mom doesn't like it at the beginning because she always want me to go to the academic path. You can go to university, find a steady jobs and that kind of path. And turns out I followed my dad's path. But I just have to prove her I can success in this way.
Yeah, yeah. And it looks like you are, right? So, I mean, the work is there.
Going there.
Has it been busy for you? Like, has it been a nice, steady climb? Or are you concerned about, are you concerned that there's not enough work? Or are you thinking there's always going to be enough work for your business?
Honestly, the beginning was because I started my company in 2016. It's like always increasing my job with a variety of job, different projects coming up. It's unbelievable. I can never imagine how many friends refer me to different kind of project. And then after this pandemic, you can feel it. The jobs is getting tighter, and then the budget is always tighter. And then beginning of this year, I can feel it. It's getting less job.
So in 2016, you were submitting prices that were in line and comfortable. You're building a business, but as you kept on growing, now prices and budgets are kind of coming down and they're becoming a little tighter.
Yeah.
Is that going to continue next year, you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's very obvious the economic is declining.
Yes.
And people, contractors are kind of lack a job, so become more competitive in pricing. So, it's
like
as you say, it's a decision.
It is, right? We're talking about it and everything's fine like that. But I'm still fascinated, and I've got a lot of other people that are going to come on the show that are outside of North America, and there's this common thread. There's this common theme that construction is always the same. Doesn't matter if it's halfway around the world or if it's here. And I'm just fascinated by that. I'm very, very interested by that. And it's just like we speak the language of construction, but we don't actually speak each other's language. But we still know what's going on the other side, right? So I'm fascinated by that. I'd love for you to walk us through the process of the work and how you get started with a client and your relationships with the contractors and each of them, and then the diversity, I guess, between the client and you and the space, the workers, and the finished product. Can you walk us through all of that?
Yeah. As I said, most of the client, they refer by friend. So we usually just like start from a WhatsApp chat. We'd go to find schedule a day, go to site meeting. Usually there's two type of client, because some find me because they know me, some hear about me, so they want me to do some tendering for them, which I hate.
You're tendering against how many other companies are you tendering normally?
Normally it's like 3 to 4.
Okay, all right.
I have been to pump into one client that opened like franchise Chinese style restaurant. They said I'm the 18th contractors on their list.
Oh, come on.
And I directly turn around, you turn and get out of it.
Yeah, like that's not fair for you. That's not fair for 15 of them. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obvious like a waste of time.
Yes.
And then let's go back to the procedure, right? I got the client, and if I win the tender, and then usually they have an interior designer, we read the drawings, confirm the drawings, and walk the site again, and then I submit a quotation. And the quotation is based on the preliminary drawings. And then, yeah, confirm the quotation, we start work. I think the procedure is pretty similar, right?
It's very similar, right? How much work or how much effort do you put when you're submitting your tender? How extensive do you get? Do you just get into the quotation, or are you actually submitting some renderings or some ideas? Are you not going that far?
No. I've been strictly just contracting part, just building works.
Okay. So just the numbers, just the initial numbers, and then you submit that, and then you're either considered or not considered at that point.
And a detailed quotation, which I learned from books I bought from the Amazon, because that's also crucial, important point I want to raise. Because in Hong Kong, you want to do a contractor, it's very old school style quoting. You can see as I see my dad, just a blank paper and a pencil, maybe a pen, just write down the items on it, and then sign your name off it, and then send it to the client.
That's it.
It can be simple as that. Yes.
Okay. A handshake,
but
basically.
What I learned, a handshake. But what I learned, like a proper way, I read books about how to become a contractor. I want to raise this book too.
Sure.
This book helps me a lot.
Starting your career as a contractor, how to build and run a construction business. By whom? Let me see the title of the author there. That's at the very bottom there. Claudio Fatu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like that book a lot?
This is like my first book that I found I have to read, because you say how to start it. Like, as the title, I want to learn this in a proper way. You know? So I found out more detailed quotation is very safer for you, safer for the client, right? Because you can be precise how to like building a wall, plaster with plasterboard, 2 layers, insulation with wood, what kind of frame you use, what kind of screw you use. As detailed as you can, so you can make the feeling, let the client feel you're professional.
When you guys are working with clients, what value do they put the time attached to the project instead of the price? Is the time on how quickly you can get this done more valuable than the price, or is the price more valuable than the time?
I think both 50%.
That's how they look at it, right? But if it's a commercial space, do they press you even further? Because if it's a restaurant or some sort of hospitality,
yes,
then time actually is a very critical part of your quotation. No.
True.
Okay, all right. So now we're getting into the job, and now you're hiring all the contractors, or it's your responsibility to find all the contractors, or you already have a team, Pata?
I do have a team. I have 2 employees. At 2017, I used to have 5 employees, and turns out I have to size down, because I found if you have too much employee trying to do different jobs, it's harder to manage that many people. And then later, I started to sub out all the trades, like the masonry, we only do the paint job, demolition, little demolition, small demolition. We sub out all the E&M, plumbing and drainage, all the HVAC, or basically every trade I sub out. I just have 2 employees just work like general laborers helping me, because my dad is more like he paint a lot. He usually like mainly a painter. So we all follow this trade more.
So working with the client and working with the trades, and then there's changes. Obviously, there's always changes, right? You guys, people change their mind, right? How do you handle that? Is that a common thing that goes on in construction there?
Yeah, we call VO, right? Variation order.
Variation order.
Yeah, that's like not like a sheet of paper.
I kind of like that title more than ours. Ours is change order. I like variation order. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the VO. The VO fuck me hard.
Come over here and here's another hard. VO for you. No, I like that. Okay.
But I had a hard lesson on the VO because I have did one project back in 2017, I reckon. It's a split unit in the inside an industrial building. It's like a common thing for if you're a landlord, you own an industrial building, like 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. In Hong Kong, there's many industrial buildings because in the 60s and 70s, Hong Kong is famous for industrial.
Yes, yeah.
We make toys, we make textile goods, we export to internationally, right? And then back to the 90s, all the factory moved to China. There's no more factory in Hong Kong. All this empty industrial building got no uses. And then there's the scene, some artists like people like me make music, want to make noise. They rent all this industrial building as a studio. I used to have a studio in industrial building too. I used to live in an industrial building too, back in the days. And then that project is about to split a 3,000 square feet unit into 41 room, I guess. 41 little rooms as a storage places.
Okay.
Because Hong Kong, it's very tight. Everything is tight.
Space, yes.
Yeah. And what that guy, the boss at the time, wanted me to split 41 unit in that industrial building. And I'm just a subcon. The main contractor do the partition wall or the doors or the structural, and I do the fit out.
Okay.
And then the main contractor did half of it, and then left and gone.
Why did he leave? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. He just take deposit and do half of the work and just fucking gone.
Pata, I'm talking to another Canadian contractor right now. This happens all the time. Yeah. This happens anywhere.
Yeah, right. Huh?
Wow. Okay. All right. So he does half the job, takes the money, and leaves. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I have to go to a site and see all the wall is not finished. And I have to, I still have a schedule. I reckon it's a summer. I step in the site at June. The main con already gone, and then the boss come here. Hey, Parrot, you have a crew too, right? You have sub, you have people. Let's find someone to finish that. So, the story goes, I have a fit out quotation, and then I have the week quote, which is we call the variation order now. The variation order is to finish the job from the main contractors, and then I do the fit out later. So
so you called it a V quote?
A VO.
So it's a VO quote, right, at that point. So now you're getting a request from the client that's saying it's a variation order, it's a VO, and now you're changing that over to a VO quote. Now you're submitting that to do the change. Okay, all right.
Yes. And then that's the trickiest part. I submit the VO, but I never got paid for that VO. I got paid for the deposit for the fit out part, which should be the later phase, right?
Yes.
And then I finish all the shit from the main con, and I do the fit out like 50-60% done, and I want more money. I call the boss, and then he's walking around. He's just don't want to pay me. Just don't want to pay because I don't know.
No, I know. We know why. We know why. All right, we know exactly why. Okay.
I didn't do nothing wrong to that site, honestly.
Yes,
I do it on time too, but it just I never got paid, so I left. So that's a hard story for me for the VO. So every time, if I need to issue a VO, I need the client to sign on site and then fucking pay me immediately.
That's how we do it here. And it usually takes one lesson to learn how to do it that way. Right? So, no, we all have learned that lesson, Pat. Honestly, we all totally have learned that lesson, man.
Yeah. We should all protect ourselves.
Well, we should somehow, but I think it's just I think a lot of people in construction are nervous to bring up money. I think they're a little scared to, okay, sure, this is a change. This is an order. It's a VO. We get it. But pay me now. Pay me now before I do the work, and then I'll do the work, and then we move on from there, and everyone's happy at that point. But that's generally what happens sometimes. Let me take a little pause here to do a little history in construction, and obviously we want to talk about oldest buildings in Hong Kong. You apologize for me my pronunciation here, but you might know it more than me. The late Chang. The Lei Cheng Han Tomb. Is that right?
Qing. Lei Qing.
Yeah.
The Qing dynasty, right?
Yeah. The Han Tomb, right? It's first and second century cross-shaped structure made on bricks. Accidentally discovered in 1955 during construction work, likely built for a Chinese officer, but no bodies were found within the tomb. Tomb was sealed in the 1980s for preservation reasons after suffering the rainwater damage. Then we have sorry?
I never heard this Qing. I thought that tomb is from different dynasty.
I don't.
It's even older.
Lei, and then it's Cheng. I don't know it.
Lei.
And then Cheng. The UK Han, HAN tomb.
Lei Cheng Oak.
Okay, Lei Cheng Oak.
That tomb is exactly where I lived when I was small, near to it.
Oh, really?
Same district.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they closed it up. They covered it up and left it there. They sealed it up again back in the 80s.
Yeah, now it's like a small museum.
Oh, okay.
They should be digging that. I think it's 1955, right? They dig out that tomb.
Yeah. It was discovered in 1955. Yeah.
Because I have been to that museum for so many times. It's just the same neighborhood. When I got nothing to do, summertime, just went in there, have some AC. When I was small.
Is it beautiful? Are you impressed by the way it was built back then?
It's small. It's okay.
Small.
This is not something shocking.
Okay. The second one, we've got three of them here. The second one is the Tung Chung Fort. Is that right? Tung.
Right.
That's late 12th century, built to station soldiers fighting salt smugglers from Lantau Island, and then was later occupied by pirates, including Cheng Pong Sao, or Tsai, a famous pirate who was known to the Portuguese Navy as Quan Apon Cheng during the Battle of the Tiger's Mouth. Served as a police station, then as a college, was declared a monument in 1979. A lot of history, man. And then the third one is Tin Hao Temple. Is that right?
Okay.
That's
many Tin Hao Temple, though. Which one?
The Josh House Bay. The Josh House Bay in 13th century. It was built to avoid evil spirits from the north, prevent floods, and help with the Tangs, win a title in the Imperial Examination, declared a monument in 2001, made of mud bricks and granite, believed to have previously had 7 floors reduced to 3 due to erosion.
That's many Tin Hao Temple, because Tin Hao is the goddess of the sea.
Okay, so I got it. All right, I understand.
Every district is seaside by the sea. They have the Tin Hao Temple.
All right, so Pat, I want to go. How do you guys build? Like your walls, your structures? Is it all metal studding? Is it drywall? Like all those details. I'm pretty sure the plumbing is very similar. You guys are running all some sort of a PVC material for drain, for supply. You're not doing copper, are you?
We do copper. Yeah, we do a lot of copper.
Oh, really? Soldering or crimping?
Both.
Okay.
Both. For water inlet, it's all copper usually, because the old time is metal pipe, and all the metal pipe. You usually find building apartment built before the 70s, or I believe it's 70s. It's all metal pipe, all concealed, because you see Hong Kong is a concrete jungle. All the houses is made by concrete. And you put a concealed metal pipe in the concrete, it will crack some days, right?
It's gonna erode.
So there's a lot of jobs for plumbers to change the metal pipe to copper pipe.
Wow, that's a big job.
Yeah, PVC we use as a drainage.
Yes,
and also a smaller PVC we use as a electrical conduit. Or they both PVC.
So with the electrical, you're doing, I guess, more of like similar to the European way, where you're running all the lines to certain sources and then sources to fixtures at that point, right? You're not running direct
Yes,
lines to each fixture and each switch.
yes,
You're
yes.
create, yeah,
UK style.
UK, exactly, UK style, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then the walls themselves, I know that the perimeter generally is concrete or concrete slabs. But
Yes.
then what are you guys doing, I guess, for insulation or for framing? It's all metal framing, metal studs. It's not, or you guys are starting to use wood too, no?
Some depends because wood is slightly more expensive than
Yes.
the metal stud. So depends. We can have wood also metal partition wall for dry walls. I have this two recording studio use both metal and wood for acoustic. Um, they have a requirement
Yep.
because wood stone is better for sound absorption.
Yes.
For raising the floor, we also use the wood stone, and furring of wall also use wood stone. Yeah.
And then what are you
Both.
putting on the surface there? Are you guys doing all drywall or is it all plastering cement boards or anything like that? What is that?
Cement board is pretty rare. We don't always use it. Really, is green board.
Okay.
If you want like kind of waterproofing, yeah, and also the regular plasterboard.
Okay.
And also sometimes it's plywood. Plywood also common to use as a furring of wall.
As a substrate for a wall, and then you're scratch coating over it to create the final layer of the wall surface.
Yeah, we do the plastering, and then we paint or maybe wallpaper sometimes.
Yes.
Yes.
I was a few years back. I was in Japan, and one of the greatest things that I noticed were all the mini construction or concrete trucks, and I thought they were amazing because it's so tight, so spaces and everything like that. You can't run like the size of our trucks here. They're massive, right? Our concrete trucks. I'm assuming you guys have the same kind of idea there when you're bringing concrete in. It's all smaller vehicles, smaller concrete trucks, right?
We don't usually pour concrete. Honestly, I've never been pouring concrete because what I did is like interior fitting out jobs here. What concrete means to us is always like a finishing surface. We use concrete as a screening when we build like a sand line brick wall.
Yeah.
We use like we do use concrete as a screening, and then we use ready mixed mud.
Yes.
To plaster on it.
Yes.
And then we sand it and then we paint it.
And that's it.
So we usually don't have we've never been pouring concrete. We don't need to.
No, because everything's all paneled now. Everything's all designed and then craned and put into place if you're using concrete panels, right?
Yeah, it depends the job because I never built a whole house.
Yes.
It's always inside a big building,
Yes.
Just one unit. So it's no use for us to pour concrete. We just do finishing phase.
So I wanted to ask you, Pato, like how many do you guys have the same kind of breakdown for trades? Is it like there's an electrician there, there's a plumber there, there's an HVAC person there? HVAC there is more radiant, or it's not forced air, correct?
Honestly, I don't really understand.
Okay.
I don't really have a thought about HVAC. I just hand it to my subs.
And they do it.
Yeah, they do it because
are they doing more radiant heating and cooling, or are they focusing on wall mounted heat pumps kind of thing? Do you remember?
Radiant, I guess, but the heating is weird here because our winter is not that cold.
No.
Yeah, we don't snow, so we don't. Heating is like luxury for us. We don't have heated floor. It's not common at all because we don't need that. It's not that cold, but the cooling is for residential, it's only two type of AC: window type or split type. That's it. For commercial, they have a water how we call it in English, the water tank type.
Geothermal. It's like like a geothermal, right?
Yeah, geothermal. Yeah, chiller pipe connecting to the fan coil.
Yeah,
that type. Yeah. So that shouldn't be radiant, right?
That's not radiant. No, that's not radiant. That's it's a different style at that point, right?
Yeah, you call it geothermal?
We
Because
call
I
it
don't know.
geothermal here, where you're basically taking the cool of the bottom of the lake, the bottom of any water source, and you're pumping it into the building, and that coolness is actually
Right,
keeping the structure cool. And then since the structure is concrete, it retains that coolness, and that's how it
right,
stays. It stays that way, which actually works, but it's very expensive to do it for single dwellings or single residential. It makes a lot more sense when you're doing a commercial application for that.
mm,
But the trades
right, right.
themselves, they're all separate. So like electricians are one trade, plumbers are another trade. Then you start getting
Yes.
into finished carpenters, or is it fabrication? Like the carpenters themselves, what is their scope of work there?
Carpenter nowadays are having a hard time because for Hong Kong, let's say residential, a house, all the furnitures, we have a trend. We bought it from China. So once the furniture is sized, is measured and sent back to the site, you just need a carpenter to install it. Just wall mount it on the wall. Like it's easy. Like it's so much easier than the old days. You make all the furniture on site. But because the carpenter, the salary is raised so expensive, so no, it's very, very rare to see carpenter making furniture at site. It's all about installation now.
So it's
So the carpenter turns out they become the partition guy. We call them partition guy. If you need a partition wall, it was made by wood. We find carpenter to do that. If you are furring a wall or make a false ceiling, we use the carpenter too.
so do the
But finished
carpenters
carpenter is
sorry?
yeah.
No, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say, do the
Yes,
carpenters feel, I guess, neglected, or like because they have a skill set to do something else, but then they're asked to do these smaller things, these less detailed oriented things?
yes, yes. I feel very sorry for them, but it's just the market is the trend is like this.
Okay.
Everyone is buying furniture from China because it's cheap, and we are near to it. And then we just need carpenter or some maybe just general laborers to hang the cabinet, and that's it.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And then what about the flooring? Would it be one trade for tiling, one trade for any kind of hardwood material, or is it one person only does all types of flooring?
We do have Tyler.
Okay.
Tyler could be considered to the like masonry guy.
Okay.
Masonry guy, they usually they build a wall, lay bricks, and then do the screeding, the flooring, tiling, or we call them generally the masonry guy. And then for the flooring guy, we find a different flooring company. They also have their master to do the flooring, hardwood floor, uh, some new kind of floor that's like what engineer wood.
Yes.
They have a finger joint type
Yeah.
of flooring is also very trendy here.
Yeah. And it's always
Yeah,
floating, or is it glued down?
floating.
It's always floating. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And durable
and
too,
it's
right? Like that's how we're looking at it here. Everybody's looking for more of a durable thing that's floating,
mm.
click in place, leave it in place, or they do full glue if it's going to be that way. But that's one of the other. Those are the two options that you have here.
I think the border they glue it down and also use the skirting as more add more strength to it.
Nice.
It's just floating.
Now the masons, they are they far and few? Is it hard to find masons there in Hong Kong? Like, I mean, I'm assuming that it might be difficult.
It's not that difficult
There's
to
a lot.
me.
Okay.
I don't. It's just because I got my dad. He got many friends.
Yeah.
He got
Okay.
he got many trades. I just every time I got a people issue, I just call him. You have this kind of guy. I just need a couple of them to help me for that kind of projects. So it's not that really hard for me to find the right guy. Well, no, find people, but the right guy is hard to find.
And then back to the furniture and fabrication of any kind of pieces that you're developing. I'm assuming you're rendering everything from the very beginning. You've submitted the quotation, you've got the job.
Mm.
Part of that quotation is the furnishings, tables, and all kinds of fabricated items. You're outsourcing all of that as well too. You're submitting renderings and designs and sizes, and then someone else is doing that work, and then it gets on site, and then you're facilitating putting that work together.
True.
Okay.
If a project that's considered as a design and build, they need my company to do design and build, which I refer the design job to my girlfriend. She will do the furniture drawings and then submit to client, confirm them. We send to the factory from China too.
Okay.
So we go to the factory before the pandemic. We can go to the factory and check it. But now, because the pandemic, we cannot go. We'll use WeChat and then send picture and as a confirmation and send the furniture down and then just install it, put it in places.
And it's been pretty good. It shows up pretty much the way she's designed it and rendered it and put it together, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's always good, but yeah, can be shit happen.
No,
sometimes
there's always risk in certain things happening. And then I mean, I guess what level of quality or detail are we getting into? I mean, are you rendering something and then you're really happy about this is what I want to try to pull off, and then you get it fabricated and it gets reduced, I guess, the design because they try to streamline it. Is that what happens sometimes?
For furniture, I think it can be very detailed. Furniture, I don't rely on. What you mean rendering is a 3D rendering a picture, right?
A drawing or something, or
a drawing,
yeah, specifications and everything like that. But then you might have certain details in there that might be a little too difficult for fabrication. So then they kind of, I guess, streamline it, reduce it. And then it's not exactly the way she or you have drawn it, right? And then they does that happen because of fabrication, the manufacturing process?
It do happen sometimes, but until I find some good factory in China, they do it can be exactly like the drawings. They're pretty good.
Nice. And then I want to go through some of your portfolio, Pata. I mean, let's talk about some of the jobs that you've done and stuff that you've liked that has stood out, right? So when people are listening and they can go and look at the website, they can see what you're talking about regarding some of the quality there.
Sure. Let's go.
So what is it that one of the jobs that you're really proud of, that you're really happy with?
I built a club last year. It's like a light club in Soho district. We also have a Soho here.
Nice.
Because there's a place called Chan of Kwaihinian. It's like the place for drinking, have fun. Many foreigners go to that area. It's a nightclub down in the back alley of originally a dirty alley. The entrance is exactly at the back alley, and then you find it. You walk through the alley and you push the door. It's like a high ceiling nightclub. It's rotten. It got a brand new aged look. What I said is the designer is a UK guy. He did an amazing job for all the rustic, what you call that? Older style, very
like a weathered
rock and roll.
Yeah, like a weathered look or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lack of words. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. What's the name of the club?
It's called Quality Good Club.
Quality,
yeah. Okay. Quality Good Club.
Okay, cool. And so there's a massive door to enter, and then what else goes on inside the club there? What other ideas were presented and built?
There's a small stage. There's a small stage for DJ, also live band playing. All function one gigantic 20-inch, I believe, speakers hanging on the wall. There's like 10 of them. It's not a big club. It's around 1,200 square feet.
Okay.
They're rather tight, but feels pretty good. Sounds also good because sound is also, I'm a band guy, so I really consider about the sound, how I engineer about the stage, how the trunking works, go to the audio control room, or the amps, how they store. You need a ventilation for the amp room. I enjoy that part of engineering work because we have to really customize for the depends the space in Hong Kong, which is always tight. How you put things together.
It's not always a box either, right? It's not always a square cube or anything like that. And then you're challenged with how to make this work. And then plus designer wise, where the stage is going to be, where the main source of music is going to come from, and then where you have to locate everything from there. Yeah,
true.
Okay.
But also one more add to the club, because the club is like a basement. There's I feel 1, 2, 3, 4 big pillar column in the middle of the dance floor. So it looked kind of strange for me. And also acoustically, you have to think about how, because a giant concrete in the center of the dance floor can cause acoustic problem.
Yes.
So they hire acoustic consultant to tell me how to fill that column. It's pretty funny. Originally, it's just a concrete column, and then I have to put aluminum frame on it, and then insulate it with rock wool, one layer, and then lay brick on it, and then grout it, and it becomes like a sound containment column. It's pretty amazing. You know, the column absorbs the bass frequency.
So was that brick veneer or was that solid brick?
Solid bricks.
Solid brick. So you're getting, okay, I'm assuming this pillar, because these pillars are holding up the whole building. I'm assuming,
Yes.
What's the diameter of each of the pillars? Probably about 2 feet?
Yeah, 2 feet.
So it's a 2-foot
6.
pillar, and then you're putting a metal frame around it. Are you adhering or structurally fastening that metal to the actual pillar, or are you leaving a gap?
We leave an air gap. Yeah, we do.
And then you're putting rock wall inside there?
Yes.
And then you're putting full brick around the whole perimeter, and that's dampening the sound in the room, the overall room?
Yes.
I'm trying to figure, I understand the gap, I understand the metal, I understand the rock wall. I'm trying to understand the solid brick on how, I guess, the sound hits the brick and it still goes through and it hits the rock wall.
Because that kind of brick, I don't really have an exact name for it. It's a common brick we use in Hong Kong. What I Google it's called a lime sand brick. I don't believe it's a true name. It's a composition of lime. It's concrete color. You got many little bubble on it. So I think the trick is that the sound can really penetrate through the little holes of the bricks. And then the rock will absorb
now
the sound.
I get it. And now I yeah, because a clay brick wouldn't work. A lime, you would have the voids. You'd have the sound transmission through that void of the brick, and then it would get trapped in the rock wall, and then not bounce back from the actual pillar or resonate from the pillar. And now you've dampened all the sound. And how many? There was 4 pillars in the main stage or the main part of the dance floor?
Yes.
That's interesting that you did that. And it worked, right? It totally worked.
It do works.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the acoustical engineer came up with that, and then you were tasked with actually building that. And then when you were building it, were you thinking, is this going to work, or was it lining up properly, or you were kind of questioning, is this not going to work? I'm not sure.
I do questioning all the time.
Okay.
Because this is one thing the acoustic consultant raised up. Another thing is about the stage. The acoustic consultant proposed the stage to put on, what do you call it? Perforated.
Yes.
You mean a perforated metal panel?
Yes.
On the stage behind, and then behind is a full piece of acoustic panel.
Okay.
It's like 1/2 inch thick. It's black in color, and then you put a perforated metal sheet on top of the acoustic panel. They call this procedure can absorb the lowest frequency for from the bass, and also avoid some kind of shaking issue. I question it because I play in a band. They put what do you call the drum set, the cymbal, the cymbal hitting against the metal. There should be bounce very high frequency and make your ear hurt, right?
Yes. So
I questioned that, and then turns out it's okay.
It works.
So it works. Yeah, it works pretty good. And no one complain about, and no drummer complain, even playing in front of a metal sheet, because probably it's perforated, is penetrating through. But when I do it, I do question that.
So how close was that perforated metal to the actual drum kit? Was it right behind him, right beside them?
Right behind.
Right behind, huh?
Literally, yeah, right behind.
Wow.
Surrounded.
That's interesting too. That so perforated metal, because you know that metal's not the best material, but I guess if it's done with the sound baffling behind it and then the holes in it, sound again goes through it and then it gets trapped.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's a bounce back. So I kind of, I'm always fascinated by acoustical way of looking at things and rooms and walking in. It's really interesting how you can do certain things to build the environment a little bit better, right? So, and
Yeah.
then I'm curious about the floor. The flooring, I'm assuming, is concrete, but was it left concrete or was it also changed? Was a different kind of material was put on the concrete?
The floor is timber.
Okay.
The dance floor is tile. It's the original tile of the original places they have. It's rotten. They like the beat up shape, the finishing of it. They kept the tile.
Okay. All right, that's fascinating. That actually brings us to our, the OBC talk here, which is sound transmission. So I just want to share every dwelling unit, and this is OBC, so this does not really have anything to do with Hong Kong there, but I bet you some of it's probably relevant. Every dwelling unit and every suite in a hotel must be separated from every other space in which noise may be generated by an assembly providing sound transmission rating of at least 50. And then also where dwelling unit or suite in a hotel is adjacent to an elevator shaft or a refuse chute, the sound transmission rating of the separating assembly must be at least 55. And then building services must be installed in separated assemblies must be installed in ways that do not decrease the sound transmission rating of the assembly. So there's restrictions on how much you're allowed to do noise-wise and enjoy. This is all condo and high rise and hotel and everything like that. So you deal with this all the time too, right?
It's not all the time though,
No.
because we don't have that code for apartment like this, apartment projects.
Is there a building code there? Is there a general? No, there's no building code.
As far as I know, there's no building codes, but there should be some building codes if you really build a building. We talk about interior fit out work. We don't even need permission of consent or permit for anything if you renovate a house here.
No inspectors?
No.
What about
unless you're doing commercial jobs like you're obtaining a license for a restaurant? They have an inspector for that. So you have kind of rules to follow. But for general housing, residential, no.
So if I wanted to renovate my house, I don't need any permission whatsoever. I can just start and do the work and that's it.
Yes.
But how do I know if you're doing the work properly or we're doing the work properly?
No one cares.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, seriously, no one cares because we got too many people here, I guess. That's one of the reasons. Secondly is for a house, what I think can consider an inspector to come is just a window. Gas heater, even the E&M, the electrician don't have to write a completion form of electrical rewiring. We don't need that. You just need a licensed guy to do the job for you. That's it. So and even you hire a non-licensed guy, no one knows because you don't have to submit anything to the government before you start a renovation. That's the case.
So the electrician needs to be licensed. Are there any other trades that need to be licensed? Or
electrician, plumber, the gas guy.
The gas guy.
HVAC, fire service, yeah.
Yeah.
But no license for painter and demolition.
Framing, carpenter, no.
No. But you can have a certificate though. If you want to study for carpentry, you can go to some school to get a certificate. So just prove you can do it.
And that was my next question, is that the schooling process. Is there a lot of schooling there to get into construction, to get into these licensed trades?
Lately, I found that's coming 2 to 3 different education. We call IVE, vocational education centers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So you can study diploma for building works, for plumbing, electrical, any trade. But it's not that really common for all the trades people that come from the school, even me. I study art school, but turns out I become a contractor. So people,
your education was life. Your education was just life. Yeah. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about how expensive is it to renovate? I mean, if you can give us an average size house and we want to renovate the entire home, how much are we talking about it's going to cost and how long will it take to do that?
For a typical Hong Kong size residential, 2 room, we call it 2 room. To 3 room, talking about size is 300, 200 to maybe 500 square feet.
Okay.
Usually costs you 300,000 Hong Kong dollars around
What's the
to renovate.
Okay, so if we were to convert it, what would that work out to be about for American?
I kind of make it kind of too low.
Okay.
I think it's somewhere between 300 to 500.
For $5,000. So for anywhere from 200 to 500 square foot, 2 to 3 room a unit.
Yes.
Okay.
1 toilet, 1 kitchen.
Wow.
Yes, that's the Hong Kong's rate. Is it expensive compared to Canada? I think it's cheap.
Well, what's the conversion on that for a Hong Kong dollar? I wouldn't even know.
5 should be divided by 5.7 something.
So you're dividing it. So then basically, if we're looking at that, what does that work out to be? Do you know?
Let me do a quick calculation. 300,000.
We're doing calculations here too.
Should be 52,000 Canadian dollars.
52,000.
Something like this.
Oh, so it's about 52,000. That's far. That's we pay more in taxes.
Really?
Yeah, like
that's extremely cheap, right?
Here in Toronto, you can't get like a 600 square foot condo is going to cost you over $1 million, no problem. You know what I mean? And that's going to be 2-bedroom, probably 1.5. It'd be a 1 3-piece bathroom, and then a 1 2-piece bathroom, and then it'd be a kitchen, family, living area, and that's your unit. You're paying over $1 million, Canadian dollars, easily.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So that's crazy. That's insane. How long would that normally take to renovate?
Well, normal residential, 2 months.
2 months?
60 working days to 90 working days is common.
Wow.
That's how it tackles.
You guys are fast, man. You guys are fast.
Because we don't need permit, I guess. We don't have, just get in the house.
Just get it done. Just go in there and get it done. That's it.
Yeah, and leave. That's how it's very.
I'm fascinated by that. Okay, so is there anything that you haven't built yet that you want to build? That's like I'm sure you're an artist, right? So I have a lot of respect for artists. I'm sure that you're always dabbling.
Thanks.
You're always thinking about ideas. And then the thing is, you haven't found a client yet that wants to use these ideas. Is there something that's on your list that you'd love to build?
Honestly, I don't have the list. I usually follow the flow. I believe in the law of attraction because, well, it really works though. I'm very excited. I'm going to build a craft beer brewery. Coming month. Yeah. So it's like a big craft beer brewery in Hong Kong. It's 5,400 square feet. It's the biggest size I ever tackled for me.
That's big.
So 5,000 square feet is already big for me. Very big for me. So I'm very excited. I know nothing about beer making.
I was going to ask you, are you bringing in a brewmaster, or are they coming in to tell you specifics about construction and where certain things have to be and how to be? Are they coming in to do that?
That's exactly the point I want to raise about the law of attraction, because I have a band. The guitarist of my band is a brewmaster. So so he got that job for me.
That's awesome.
I basically work for his boss.
I love that. All right. So then so now you got to make the band bigger and start getting other people that'll get more laws of attraction going on. That's it.
Yeah, I wish.
So when do you start the brewery, and when you're expecting to finish it?
I'm expecting to start working next month.
Okay.
And then probably finish next year, March something. Yeah.
What's the name of the brewery? Can you share that or not yet?
I think it's okay. I don't care. It's called Yardley Brothers.
Yardley Brothers, and that's local. It's craft, right? So it's got to be local.
Yeah, it's local. It's local, but the owner is a guy from UK.
Nice.
Yes.
That's going to be so interesting. What kind of interesting things are you going to be building outside of the actual brewery and the stations and everything like that? But what else are you? I'm assuming you're going to have a bar in there as well too. People to come in, and then check it out. I mean, I've been to Ireland and I've been to the Guinness there, and I could stay there. Cool. You know, if you can rent there, I'd stay there. But I mean, so what other kinds of things are you going to build there?
The boss proposed they want to do a multifunctional stage, also a little lighthouse section, a bar, a kitchen, an office, and more importantly, the brew house. Couple the what they call boiler room.
Yes.
Yeah. Also they use the glycol system for the cooling system,
Yep.
which is totally new to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, others just typical factory requirement to obtain the license, because we need to obtain the food factory license in order to make beer in Hong Kong.
You need a food. You need a food license, not an liquor license.
Funny. Yes, they only need a food factory license. You don't need an alcohol making license, because I have already asked that question. Hey, do you need a specific like liquor license, something to build a brewery? He said no. I found funny, weird.
It is a little weird. I mean, we over here we need licenses for walking across the street. It's just like there's way too many licenses here, right? So, but I mean that's a different world. But so what else? I mean, I want to try to figure out from you what materials you like working with. What new materials have you come across, or are you constantly using older materials that you like?
I want to say this, but I haven't Googled it. My fault. It's the material. It's like we use as a plaster. You ever see how the Chinese do the plastering, like for the wall finishing painting, the base?
So it's all by hand. You're skimming it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a material of a jelly. It's like a grass jelly. It's a natural material. It usually comes in a bucket.
Okay.
In a metal bucket. It's a I really have to give you the name
I know
later.
what you're talking about. I just don't have the name. And there's actually a person here locally that I'm it's like a Venetian kind of plastering. It's like a polished, very, very fine sand material that is done a certain way, and it gives you this really beautiful finish. And I'm hoping to get them on the show as well too. But it's I bet you any money it's similar to that. It already comes pre-colored, right?
No, you got color. Okay. It's just a white lime mixed with the jelly.
Okay.
We use hand mix. But nowadays some guy do machine mix, use a mixer, regular concrete mixer to mix that. And then we add some lacquer to increase the strength and more sticky.
Yeah. And you're applying it with a trowel. Yeah, you're using it as a trowel to put it on.
Hawk.
Nice.
Trowel and hawk, yes.
And then you could pretty much, what's the base that you're using on that? You're using green board, or you're using drywall as the base, or the substrate?
The wall, usually, we do the paint job here because all the houses, even the existing room, is concrete.
Yes.
So what we do to refinish the wall, usually the procedure is we strip off all the old paint, all the old plaster, till we see the bare shell of the concrete, and then we seal it with water sealer. We see like 2 layers, and then we put that jelly lime plaster on it, and then we sand it down, and then we paint. That's the procedure we do.
Are you sanding it down before it's dry? Or are you sanding it down after it's dry, and then you're using a mechanical sander? Is it a hand sander?
We like to use hand because that kind of plaster is rather soft. If you use a machine sander, you can sand off all the plaster you did.
And then it's pointless at that time. If you remember the name of it, I'd love to know more about that product. If it's very similar to something I think that I know here, that a lot of people are using here now, because I personally have gotten tired of drywall and just doing the joints and that's it. I'd rather have a full skim coat over everything. But once you start doing a full skim of everything, like the old school UK way, like that's the way to do it. You have so many other options at that point. You can start creating certain kind of wall treatments and surface treatments, and then it starts to look beautiful at that point, right?
True. But for plasterboard, we like to use ready mix mud for plasterboard though, because the hand mix style plaster, it doesn't work really well with the plasterboard. It always crack, I found. Okay. So for plasterboard, we still do like mesh tape, like the way you do, and then ready mix mud, put it on, and then sometimes because the ready mix mud is usually harder, right? So we have to use machine sander to sand down that kind of mud.
Let me ask you this, Pato. Are all toilets or all bathrooms, do you guys always add a bidet to it? Because that's what I noticed when I went to Japan. Everywhere I went, I was using bathrooms or whatever. It could be in a regular place or it could be in a hotel or whatever. It was all bidet bathrooms,
Ah,
bidet toilets. There is that the same thing in Hong Kong? I'm assuming it is.
no,
It's not.
absolutely no.
Okay. All
I
right.
wish. I wish.
I
I
know.
love
I
all
know.
the
It's just like,
Japanese
and I tell
toilet.
people once you use it the first time, you'll always want to use it. But I was
Yeah,
surprised. I was surprised when I was there that I
it's
was
not a
walking.
trend here though.
It's not a trend because it's very high end, very expensive, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true. It's not a trend yet. I hope it's gonna be a trend.
And then what can you share some of the brands that you guys are using for plumbing fixtures or when you're designing a bathroom and using it? I'm trying to figure out what brands you guys are using when you go to stand up showers and toilets and sinks and things like that.
Uh, for residential, if you're tight in budget, you use brandless Chinese-made faucet or fixtures. If you have more budget, you go the European style. You go house growth, Goey.
Growy, Hands
I don't know,
Growy.
Goey, yeah.
Are
Hands
you going
Goey.
Kohler and Toto?
Yeah, we have all kind of brands. Same,
Okay.
same.
All right. And then what is it? Would it be like twice the price, the cost wise, if you're going with a brand name?
I think can be four, 5 times more
Wow.
expensive
That much.
because the
Eh?
Chinese made is so cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then tile wise, where are you guys getting all your tile from? Is it there? Is it from China or is it you getting it from Europe?
Some set is from we call it this way. We mainly always China. Every building material is all China, made in China. And the higher end is export style. It's like Portuguese tile, Italian tile, some Spanish tile. But I don't trust them.
Why
They
not?
just like because all the packaging you see.
Ah, okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
I don't really trust them. It's just you see a flag of Portuguese on it, and they say it's made in Spain. Anyway, that's the choice. That you have Spain, Portuguese, Italy, China.
But you as a designer and engineer and you're scoping out, you have to also scope out materials, or you already given a list of materials that you're going to be using, period. And that's like the clients already asked for that. Is that the idea, or you have a say in
Honestly,
it?
it's not my job. It's my girlfriend's job. She's the designer. I'm the contractor.
So
I do
she
build
has
it
that
for her.
work and she's got to source out
Yes,
everything. And where does she
yes.
look to China first or does she look outside of China?
We usually go to shopping. There's a couple of street that's full of building material in Hong Kong, in different districts. So we can usually the old school way. We bring the client to the street, like shopping together. We go to check what kind of tile comparison. So right now we're doing more modern way. We propose the tile. We find some tile, or we got supply from the vendors. If we want higher end tiles, they send out samples. We do a sample board and send to the client. Submit and okay, approval, buy it.
Is
Yeah.
she getting paid to shop? Or is she just being nice because of the job and that's it? I'm hoping she's getting paid to shop with the client.
Honestly, no. I think no, because what we tends to do the design process is the project depends it's counted by the square feet.
Yes.
It's a unit price times square feet. We didn't break it down to
I
the
know. It's the same here.
miscellaneous.
It's the same here. I get it. But here, when we have the designers, they're getting paid to shop. There's a fee, so they can go out with the client and then they'll do their shopping. They have their initial unit price, their scope, and then anything above that, it's a shopping fee. There's a compensation attached to it if they want to go get samples and full samples. It's all additional costs, right? But a lot of people that get started,
But how that works though? By
so
hour?
we're hourly, yeah, it's by the hour.
Ah,
I know, and it can
okay.
get very expensive. That's the thing about it, right? But then as contractors, we'll have meetings on the job site here with a client. We're not being compensated for that. It's part of our
True.
workday, right? So we have so
True.
many other things to do during the workday, but yet then the client wants to ask us about this and ask us about that, and then all of a sudden you set up a meeting, and then the client won't even show up, or maybe they'll Zoom it in. They'll just do FaceTime it, and then you don't really answer. So it's a problem. That's all it is. So that's why I was asking if she's getting compensated for her time, but she's not, right? Because it's a unit price because you guys have the job, and now you have to source out everything.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's why we cut this shopping section. Just we propose. If you're okay, you're not okay, we find another one. Just keep proposing. It's keeping more time.
That's it. So, Pata, I'm just wondering, where do you see your business now? 10 years from now, where are you going to go from here?
I really don't know, man.
Haven't
I
thought
really
that
don't know.
far?
I got, yeah, because I'm the guy who follow the flow.
I love
Whatever
it.
comes up,
I love it.
I just take it. Yeah.
What are
Any
What are
chance.
you drinking there? I know we started the show and you were drinking something there. I can only assume it's finished.
Yeah, I just almost finished with some whiskey from Islay, Scotland.
Oh,
My favorite place.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a bottle, man. All right.
I don't even know how to pronounce it. Though.
I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna try it. What? How many years whiskey is it?
I think this is 10.
10 years.
Yeah,
And
it's rather new. Yeah,
It tastes nice.
it's not bad. Tastes good.
I got one more segment to do here. Green Book Talk, which is safety and structure. We're gonna talk about structure damage and demolition. Damaged structures must be braced and shored with safeguards put in place to ensure worker safety. I got to ask you, how safe are the job sites there? Are they safe, or like what happens if something does happen?
It's not that safe, honestly.
I just want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from you. That's all it is. I don't want to say it. I want to hear it from you.
It's not that safe, man.
Okay.
We still allow use you know the wood ladder on site.
Wood. That's right. That's right. Yes, you do. I've seen that before, and that's the most dangerous ladder to use. I know.
But we fucking love it because without it, we don't know how to do it. You know, for the painter, for the plasterer.
Pata, I just wanted you to say it. I don't want to say it. That's all. So then safeguards must be installed progressively from the safe area towards the hazard. Only workers directly engaged in demolition may be in or near the structure. This is all applicable to you, right? Like this is all. No, it doesn't. If demolition is halted, barriers must be put up and prevent access to the structure. All gas, electrical, and other hazardous services must be shut off. All toxic, flammable, and explosive must be removed unless the demolition is performed via wrecking ball, bulldozer, or explosives. Demolitions and dismantling of a structure must be moved from the highest point to the lowest point. All glass must be removed before any exterior wall can be demolished. Basements left after demolition must be either backfilled or to grade level or fenced along its open sides. Do you guys ever demolish an entire building and start from scratch again? Does that happen every time or anytime?
Entire building, no.
You still keep
We're
it.
talking about Hong Kong.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, the buildings are built a certain way that they last they last a long time, and you're just constantly renovating the buildings, right?
Inside the building.
Yeah, just
what we call demolition is just chipping off tiles, stripping off paint, that kind of demo. Like, demo a wall, that kind of demolition. It's not demo the whole house like you guys do.
But what about electrical? And like you said earlier in the show, where you're talking about a lot of the water services were in metal pipe and now being converted to copper pipe. What if the building is so old that it has older wiring and older pipes? Then you wouldn't still demolish the whole building. You're just going to carve out the old and then put new lines in. Is that what you guys do?
It depends. It depends the budget though. We can do both way.
Okay.
Just cut the old one and run a brand new one, or keep the old one and also run a brand new one. Depends.
All right. So, Pata, let me ask you, is there, like, we have the construction bone. Is there something that you don't like about construction? Like currently?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Like what? Share it with me.
You have a word for it. A Pinterest customer.
Oh. You guys have that there too, man?
Yeah, I do. They just some client they never want to pay for the interior design.
No,
because they think they know how to design, right? They know what the fuck they want, right? And they put up the Pinterest is showing you. I want this corner to look like this.
So they do that too, huh?
Like that. Yes, globally, I tell you.
Wow! I'm not surprised. I gotta say, I'm not surprised. So they show up and they have a tablet and they're showing you all these ideas, and then make it look like this. That's it. Period.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But that's not
And they
you.
said, I don't care how you build it. I just want this. Fuck you.
But you can't say it that way. There's got to be a nice way to say it, right?
Yeah, a more presentable way. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
a much
I can
more
do that.
No. Can you share with how you present it or how you look at it, or is it just a matter of you look at the client a certain way and walk away? I mean, that's generally what I do. I don't even say anything because I say everything in my body language. That's how I say it. That's how I answer it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Right. That's a wise way.
So that's the biggest thing that bothers you. And anything else? Is there any other little things that go on, or?
Not much. I'm pretty happy with what I have now.
Is your dad happy with you being where you are right now and where you've taken construction?
I think he do.
Yeah.
I think he do.
Has he told you? Or it's a quiet kind of expression?
Chinese style.
I know Chinese style. I know.
Yeah, we don't talk that.
A lot is said without ever saying a word. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. True.
He's probably proud of you.
Proud of me.
Yeah, he's very proud of you, right? Because the work that you've done.
I'm proud of him too.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. All right. So let's do the 12 questions of construction. You ready for this?
All right. Yes.
All right. So I just want to share with everybody, you can reach out to him, right? So it's Pata Chan, and his website is www.kwaihinan.com, and his email is the same thing with his name in front of it. And you can also go on IG, and you'll find him at Pata_Chan. Sorry, Chan. Chan.
Chan.
And then here's the 12 questions of construction. What is your favorite word?
Scope.
Scope. What is your least favorite construction word?
Tender.
Yeah. What turns you on in construction?
Got pay on time.
It's a nice thing, man. It's a simple thing. It's a nice thing. You did the work.
Exactly.
Let's get paid. What turns you off in construction?
Not getting pay.
Yeah. Is that common, Pata? Is that pretty common there? Like, or you can kind of smell it, like you can kind of see it. It might happen.
It's kind of common. It's
Okay.
kind of common.
Yeah.
It happened to every contractors, I believe.
That's a shame. It's a shame.
Yes.
What is your favorite curse word? Or it could be a phrase, and it could be, I guess, in Chinese.
I have both Chinese and English version.
Chinese, share both, man.
Okay. Olan.
Olang?
Olan.
Okay, what is that?
Literally means you shitting out a penis. So
I'm going to start using
really,
the English
really
translation of that. I'm going to start using the English translation of that one here, man. You're shitting on my penis. All right. Okay. I like that one. All right.
English, I like to say fuck's sake.
Fuck's sakes. That's it. That's it. What is your favorite vehicle in the entire world?
I guess it should be I have a vintage 1979 Toyota Crown. MS105 is a old school sedan.
Yeah, I know what it is. It's got to be black, right?
It's dark blue.
Dark blue. That's a beautiful car.
Very sexy.
That's
very
a beautiful
sexy.
car. That's a very beautiful car. What is your least
thanks.
favorite vehicle in the world?
Any smart car. Or fucking.
Are there a lot
Honda
there?
Fit.
Are there a lot of them there?
A lot. Just
Really?
Freed. Shit, man. I can't look at it.
What construction sound or noise do you love?
What I write down. The sound of the trowel back and forth with the hawk. Love it.
Are there more guys with hawks or trays?
We never use trays.
That's exactly
You
old,
never seen one.
You're old school. It has to be the hawk. It has to be the hawk.
It should be, yeah.
I know. What construction sound and noise do you hate?
Oscillating tools hitting some metal.
And just rattling a sound that does not belong in this universe. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day?
I want to be a movie director.
You're gonna get into films?
Yeah, I want to.
Nice. Are you building your network over there?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But I have friends who love movies. I think we can work together.
Yeah. Nice. Yes, we can. We definitely can. What profession would you not like to do?
Any jobs related financial bank, that type. Not me.
I know.
Never.
And last question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Oh shit! Please forgive me.
But I think we talked about a lot, man. I'm so glad that you made the time to do this. I know it's getting late or getting early, depending on how far into the bottle you are right now, to get going. But the thing is, I really appreciate that your time being on the show and sharing this. And is there anything else that you want to share to the listeners that are checking this out?
I'm okay. I'm so happy to see you, man.
Yeah, no, it was amazing to actually start talking. And you never know. Pat, one day I'll be there, man. I'll pass by and say hello, and then you can walk me through everything that we just talked about, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Waiting for you.
All right, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk soon.
You too.
Okay, everyone, check him out again. All right, Pata Chan, and it's www.KWAHINIAN.com, and his email's there, and his Instagram is Pata_Chan. That's it. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. We're out of here.
Thank you, man.